Yes, it's news time at Waters Stanton, your ham radio store. We've got some interesting ham radio topics which I'm sure you'll find interesting. So, let's get on with it. Well, the first item must be the solar storm that hit us on May the 10th, Friday, May the 10th. Apparently it was category 5, which is the highest category you can get. The categories of solar storms are rated 1 to 5, and 5 is the highest you can get. And apparently the last time we had a solar storm at this level was in 2003. And apparently it's typically 22 years between each solar storm of that magnitude. And it's rather interesting actually, because we have a 11-year sunspot cycle, don't we? So it suggests that every other sunspot cycle will actually contain a solar storm of that magnitude, and it certainly was quite a magnitude. I first checked the radio conditions on Friday evening. I was a bit late really, but about 9:30 I switched on the radio, and the bands were basically dead. Incidentally, side issue, when the bands are dead like that, and it doesn't often happen, when we get a solar storm like that, it's a good way of checking your local noise, because the only thing you're going to hear on your radio is your local noise. So it's quite interesting to just check the bands and see what your actual local noise level is compared with what it's like when the bands are open. And I found that quite interesting actually. Anyway, I checked the bands and they were basically dead, except 10 metres. 10 metres was rocking. There was S9 signals all over the band, basically from Europe, and it was basically, I think, sporadic E. But it was absolutely amazing. There was portable stations, mobile stations and so forth. And that was around about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening. I then went back on 10 metres at 11 o'clock, and there was a very distinct auroral flavour to all the signals. They were quite, they had that aurora pattern to them, but like the SSB was distorted audio, and obviously CW was as well. And there were signals all over 10 metres. I went to bed at midnight, and the 10 metre band was still full of signals. I didn't hear any long distance DX, but it was mainly European, a lot of strong signals from Scandinavia. I've never known 10 metres to be open that time of night with so many signals. It's quite amazing. And then the following day I checked 10 metres again. I was out actually, so I couldn't check it until about 5:30 in the evening. And the aurora was still present, at least it was at about 5:30 on the Saturday evening. That would have been the 11th of May. And I worked G3YPZ. Now G3YPZ is in Lincolnshire, I'm in Essex. I guess the distance will be about 80 or 90 miles. And we were copying each other S5, and the signal was pretty stable. We actually chatted for about half an hour, and Mike G3SED in Portsmouth could also hear us at about the same sort of signal strength. So, and he of course is in almost the opposite direction. So it was quite amazing. The downside was, of course, that the copy was the signals were distorted, as you get with aurora. But quite an amazing weekend. Sunday seemed to be getting back to normal again, but certainly the Friday and Saturday will go down in my amateur radio history as one of the most spectacular 10 metre openings, when all the other bands were ostensibly dead. I bought myself an electric bike, but I'm very impressed with it. What's an electric bike got to do with ham radio? Good question, actually. Well, I suppose because I go out portable quite a bit, it means to say I can ride up a country lane, park up somewhere, ride up a steep hill. Yes, you can ride up steep hills on an electric bike. And when you get to my age, riding up an electric bike, riding up a hill is quite a challenge. Going down is easy. Anyway, I chose something called a My Rider, and I'm very impressed with it, and I'll let you know how I get on with it. Haven't fallen off yet. And now it's time for another Yaesu Cashback. Yes, Yaesu, those people at Yaesu have announced that there's a summer cashback. It starts on May the 10th and it finishes on the 30th of June. So you've got plenty of time at the moment to save some money. How does it work? Well, basically, you buy your Yaesu from us, we give you a receipt, you send a copy of the receipt to Yaesu UK, and within about 3 or 4 weeks, you'll find that they will pay you the appropriate cashback for whatever you buy. So let's take a look and see what's included in this latest summer Yaesu cashback. On the FTDX 101 MP, £260 saving. On the FTDX 101D, £260 saving. On the FTDX 10, £85 to save. Pick up the FT991A and save £85. Save £85 on the FT710 AESS. Save £85 on the FT710 Field. On the FTM 500D, £45. And on the FT200, also £45. And finally, on the FT5DE, £45. So, take advantage of the Yaesu cashback. Remember, you can also get or save some cash if you part exchange. So it's a double whammy. You get a cash back from Yaesu and you save some cash when you part exchange that old rig that you no longer need. So let's do a deal. HF Propagation. Get quite a bit of email from viewers about HF Propagation. It's quite apparent that although we understand HF Propagation, sometimes we don't understand it, or at least we don't understand what's going on at a particular time. You know, on the HF bands we rely very heavily on the F layer, and that provides one of the main ways that we communicate around the world. But there's all sorts of things that happen. We had the example recently of the solar storm, and we have sporadic here and so forth. And sometimes I hear from guys that have got very simple aerials and have been working some amazing DX. So it's rather like fishing, you know. If you're an experienced fisherman, you're probably going to catch more than the guy that's not an experienced fisherman. And I think it's the same with working DX. If you're an experienced DX, and particularly if you understand the band that you're operating on and the way it changes during the day, month by month, etc., etc., you're going to work more DX than the guy that's just come on the air and really hasn't got too much idea of when the right time to operate is and the right way to operate and when you're likely to work DX. But the good thing about HF operation is sometimes the unexpected happens. And that's really an exciting time. And I think it happens to us all from time to time. The unexpected happens. How did you come to work that DX on a very simple aerial? How did you come to work that DX on an ostensibly dead band? It's fascinating stuff, isn't it? So, if you're a newcomer, be patient. Try and learn how the band works, because you may get some surprises, and sometimes the newcomer can work some amazing DX that others have missed, because sometimes it's been there at the right time. But the experienced operator will know when the right time is likely to be. So enjoy your HF propagation, enjoy the challenge, and enjoy the unexpected. I wonder if you remember me talking about the Paraset spy radio I spoke about it about a year or so ago, and I said that I was having one built for me. Well, it's getting on now. Well, I'll put it up on the screen, you can see for yourself. It's not too far from being finished. Now, the Paraset spy radio was used during the first half of the Second World War. It's 3 valves. It's a regenerative receiver and a transmitter. The transmitter is crystal controlled. It covers the 2 bands that it covers embraces 80 metres and 40 metres. Gives around about 3 watts out, CW only, but it'll be interesting when it's finished. So as soon as it's finished and I get hold of it, I'll let you know. In fact, the RSGB actually published a book about the Paraset radio. There's enough information in there to build one yourself. I'll put the circuit diagram on the screen. In fact, there's something rather dangerous about the original circuit of the Paraset radio, because the headphones are connected to the output of the audio stage, and the output of the audio stage is from the anode, which is at a high voltage, and the only thing separating the headphones from the high voltage is a single capacitor. That's pretty dangerous. I think that the one that I'm having made has got an audio transformer, a lot safer than just relying on a single capacitor to separate your ears from 200 odd volts. I've just got a bit of news in from Icom UK. Icom UK have got involved with a project known as Wet Wheels, or the Wet Wheels Foundation. Basically, it's the idea of Jeff Holt, who is actually a skipper in the boat, and this boat is circumnavigating the UK. I'm not quite sure what the distance is, but it must take quite a while to actually go around the UK. Sam from Icom is helping to crew this boat, and the whole idea is, this is Jeff Holt's idea, the whole idea is to give those that are disabled the chance to take part in adventures, and this Wet Wheels one is an adventure on a boat, bobbing around the sea. When I say bobbing around, probably that's not too far from the truth, because it's not a large boat. But anyway, well done Icom UK, and well done Sam. I'm not sure whether you suffer with seasickness. I hope you don't. Anyway, if you want to learn more about it, type in Wet Wheels on your search engine and you'll find all about it, and how Jeff Holt MBE is providing so much opportunity for those that are disabled. And whilst we're on the subject of Icom have just announced, not Icom UK, but Icom in Tokyo, have just announced the ICPW2 linear amplifier. This is some linear amplifier. It's a full kilowatt output, and it's been tested over an hour, continuous output. It's quite amazing, 1 kilowatt continuous for an hour. And it's got 6 antenna sockets, so it's got the contester in mind, 6 antenna sockets, or a selector for 6 antenna sockets. And also it's ideal, or it's designed for 2 radios, single operator contesting. So you can have 2 radios connected to it at the same time. Quite an amazing bit of kit. It's not going to be available till the autumn of this year, 2024. I've no idea of the price, but I would be prepared to think about a mortgage. I may be exaggerating a bit, I don't know. But it's an interesting bit of kit, particularly if you've got the money, and if you're into contesting, and if you just want something really nice. I think the PW2 is going to be something really nice. By the way, Radcom's just dropped through my door. The the National Hamfest is going to take place on the 27th and 28th of September, and tickets are on sale. Although they don't tell you what the price of the tickets are. Anyway, it's good to see that the National Hamfest is up and running again. Something I haven't noticed before in Radcom, perhaps hasn't been in Radcom before. Airband news, a regular item about airband news. Takes me back to the days of Shortwave magazine. Something reviewed in Radcom this month is the Res Ranger 80. It's a great portable antenna system, very well engineered, and we've got it in stock, by the way. And if you get Radcom, you can read the review about it. Of course, if you don't get Radcom, you can't read the review, but you can go onto our website and see the spec. It's a great antenna system. Take a look. That's the Res Ranger 80. And finally, what about the Zigu 6200 that was announced some while ago? Well, it's not far away now. It's a great little transceiver. We've seen a sample of it, but we haven't actually got one to play with. But it covers the 160 metre bands to 6 metres. It's got airband receive on it, AM VHF airband receive on it. It's got FM broadcast receive on it. It's got some FT8 facilities, although it's not entirely clear what those facilities are. It's got a VSWR meter built in, etc, and of course the panoramic display. It looks to be a nice transceiver. I don't think it's very far away now, but we're still waiting. Hopefully, in the next edition of news, we might actually have one to look at. Who knows? It's a waiting game. In the meantime, thanks for your support on this channel. Much appreciated. You take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'll say that again. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, as usual. Bye for now.